Hey, have you seen the new Leonardo DiCaprio movie? Man, that guy is such a good actor. He's so lucky. He's so lucky he has that talent. And he's rich. He doesn't even have to do any hard work. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to talk about whether some people are naturally just good with languages and other people are not good with languages. Usually when people hear about how I speak several different languages and I love studying languages, they often say to me, "Wow, you're so lucky you can speak those languages." Now, that's kind of, well, it makes me laugh usually, but it's also kind of annoying because I'm not lucky. I worked really hard to learn all of those languages, but people don't really see that sometimes. They just see the final result, which is that I can speak these languages. They don't see all of the effort and the process that went into it. They just see that the final result. And they think, oh, I couldn't do that. So they think that it's somehow just a natural talent that I have. But actually, I'm not talented with languages. I just love studying languages, and that's why I can easily put in the time and I can kind of slug through all of the grind to get good at a language. People who say, I'm not good with languages, they usually have no idea what goes into the process. They don't realize that it takes hundreds and hundreds of hours to get pretty good with a language, and it takes thousands of hours to get really good at a language. Probably they hear about people getting good at a language in 3 months or in 6 months, and they think, wow, that's really a short period of time. It sounds easy. And they buy into the marketing and all that kind of thing. But they don't realize that within that short amount of time, people who get good at a language are probably just completely focused and dedicated and obsessed with that language. Like if you get good at a language in 6 months and you're fluent, that means you busted your ass that whole 6 months and that language became your life. Learning a language is like climbing a mountain, right? It's a struggle and it's a challenge every step of the way, but that's why it's fun. So some people endure that grind and endure the challenge because they love it or because they're really motivated by that goal of reaching the top. It's the same as people who climb real mountains. Why do they climb it? Not because it's easy, but they climb it because they love the challenge or they really enjoy getting to the top of the mountain, right? So it's not that it's easy, it's that some people just love the challenge, and that's why they can stick it out and they can grind through it, and that's why they can put in the time and the effort to get really good at it. So some people are not good at languages because they have bad habits, bad study habits, or just bad habits of hard work in general, or they have bad strategies for learning. And both of those are things you can change, so people can get good with languages even if they're not right now. Let me tell you just a couple examples. Like one guy who I used to work with at my previous job, he told me, I can speak Japanese quite well, and he can't speak Japanese very well, and he was saying to me, oh, I wish I could speak it like you. And I said, well, why don't you do it then? And he said, well, I've tried, but I'm not good with languages, which made my eyebrows raise like, really? How much do you study? And he said, well, I study, when I have time. And that was the first red flag, just when I have time. That's an excuse to not commit to a study schedule. So I said, well, how often? He said, oh, once or twice a week sometimes. And I said, okay, when you study on those days, how much do you study? And he says, well, I try to do a page or two in my textbook. I said, what do you mean try? Do you do a page or two or not? And he said, well, sometimes. And so all these things, like you sometimes do a page or two, you try to do a page or two. What does that mean? You either do it or you don't.
Do or do not. There is no try.
So if you're going to do 3 pages today, do 3 pages. Don't do a page and then go, oh, I'm tired, I'm going to go watch TV. No, screw that. You do your 3 pages. That's the kind of commitment, that's the kind of habit that you need to get good at a language. It's that ability to just set a goal and fight through it because you enjoy it and because you want to reach that goal at the end. And that's part of the process, is just committing to it. So some people can force themselves to do that, and those are the people who are supposedly good with languages for the most part. Another example is someone who has just a kind of habit or a learning style or a personality trait that kind of blocks them from getting good at the language. I know another guy who tried to learn Japanese, but he never made any progress with it. And I would always ask him, how's it going? He'd say, oh, it's not so easy. I'm not good with languages like you. And I would dig in a little bit. And what it is this guy just loves to talk your ear off. He's one of these people who just talks all the time really fast, and he can't slow himself down, and he absolutely hates listening to other people. Like stopping his own voice to listen to other people causes him like psychological terror almost. He just hates it. So he's not someone who can slow himself down enough to really go slowly when learning a language. He has to just say all his ideas right away or he feels freaked out. So when you're learning a language, of course, you need to sometimes go slowly. You need to, process the concepts, process the patterns, and piece together your sentences. You need to just slow down to make your speech more accurate. And if you are not used to doing that, if you have a personality trait that inhibits you from slowing down, then that means you need to change that strategy. You need to work on that part of your personality in order to help you learn better, right? So it's not that that guy is not good with languages, it's that he has this pattern of behavior that stops him from pushing forward in his learning, right? So if he can work on that, then he can get better with learning languages. So if you have trouble learning languages, it could be one of those two things. It could be that you don't have the study habits, or you don't have the habits of setting goals and just fighting through all of the bullshit that you have to go through to reach your goal. Or it could be that you have some kind of trait or some kind of pattern that's inhibiting your learning, and you can figure out what that is and try to work around that or try to change it so you can learn more efficiently and not have to keep stopping. So that's my basic message. If you think you're not good with languages, I basically disagree with you, and I think you could be good with languages if you just change something around and change your patterns, change your habits. Nobody is inherently good with languages. Nobody's inherently bad with them. Have a good day. See ya.